Linda never seemed too bothered, she would handle it so mellow. Even when Gertrude got so ill to the point of turning yellow. Told herself for now, when you make it through there's something found. Not true.
So the question is, what could drive a mother to abandon her children? And is it possible to become so obsessed with something to the point where it drives you crazy? And what happens when something that could be helpful is taken to the absolute extreme and becomes deadly? These are just some of the themes I plan to touch on during today's story. And whether it's your first time stopping by the channel or you've been here before, I'm happy you're here now. If you have them, it's time to throw those headphones on and get lost in the music. As always, we'll talk more details on the other side of the story. But yeah, we waited long enough and I can see the intro coming now.
Makes you stronger and you gotta heal. I ain't lying, no. Listen, I ain't trying, no. When I teach you all about this fast and you dying slow. Feeling like you weak and need to eat, but I ain't got a meal. Say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger and you gotta heal. I ain't lying, no. Listen, I ain't trying, no. I ain't lying, no. Listen, I ain't trying, no. A savage will reside inside the madness when it's over. Couldn't navigate these hazards. Some were crazy that it drove her. Always doing something wicked, like they need a hit a quota. Yeah, I'm down to be a chauffeur. Take a ride to Minnesota in 1867, coldest day in that December. Suzanne is giving birth to welcoming the newest member. Name's Linda, she would wreak some havoc. They would never told this, and not the only child, one of 7. She's the oldest, but quickly they would notice she was different. She's the coldest, so her parents grew concerned. There's no way they could control this little interest in the toy. Simply park it on the shelf. Didn't play with other kids, too busy talking to herself. Only 18, but starts a family, even if it's scary. At that time, while you're young, you say I do, it's necessary. Although a little wary, eventually would marry Perry. But this tale ain't from a fairy. Thought the weight she couldn't carry. A decade and some change passed, so she starts to change fast. And she starts to question, can this life she entertains last? Looking at her husband, feeling nothing, only bored. Kids just wanna play with mommy, but they'll probably go ignored. She was trapped inside a glitch, and on the track I gotta switch. Time to do this on my own, exactly that, I gotta quit. This a scratch, I gotta itch, and it's a fact, I gotta ditch everything I've ever known, no looking back, it's time to split. She meant every single word as she was building up the nerve. Told her husband it was over when she kicked him to the curb. Didn't even want a kid, saw him as a big distraction. Told her mama she could have him when she sent her babies packing. All of this to chase her passion. Indeed it was unique, seemed to only care about the different foods that people eat. At every table, take a seat, it's looking good, we gotta try it. Sadly overlooking what is really cooking in our diet. And filled with new ambition that would send her on a mission. Go and break it down, think she found the cause of your condition. She called herself a doctor, but she's far from a physician. She will cure every disease, the secret's hidden in nutrition. Better yet, we'll remove it. Every meal you overdo it. If you fast, every illness that you have, this will improve it. If you eat, you're having risk. Put down the plate, you grabbing bliss. The motto of a practice set in Minneapolis. Started drawing some attention, people thinking that she's woke. Had a patient named Gertrude who suffered from a stroke. Right side, left paralyzed, surely feeling terrified. Chose to follow Linda, placed her hope into the care applied. This a class you wanna pass, you gotta change your ways. She would put her on a fast and it would last like 40 days. Family begging her to stop, saw her health indeed decline, but she never did, and then she died on day 39. Linda never seemed too bothered, she would handle it so mellow. Even when Gertrude got so ill to the point of turning yellow. Told herself for now, when you make it through there's something found. Not true. when she passed away was just 100 pounds. Afterwards, Linda moved around across the Puget Sound, made a business even bigger, started breaking newer ground with a fresh facility. She's like, you build it and they come. There's no way they can outrun the treatment to which they succumb. And I tell you, it was brutal. Her patients barely get a little bit of soup, a sip of juice, and that was it. And it's clearly not enough for just the stuff that they permit. On top of that, they would submit to daily enemas and shit. It's really no surprise, not too many would survive the signing up to thrive, but they rarely left alive. Suspicion slowly grew, and that would start to bring the fuzz in. And by that time, she took a lot of lives, at least a dozen. She was guilty when they handed down the ruling on the case. Some would say they're losing faith in the system, a disgrace. The bars were only temporary, they could see it's too clear, cause 20 was the max. She would end up doing 2 years, then went somewhere appealing. She would choose to pick New Zealand, new location, same occupation, specialize in healing. Once back in the US, didn't plan on using stealth. Life just repeats itself. She opened up the school for health while she's chatting with a client about their diet, how they slacking. Starts to take a toll when the self-control is lacking. Belly slowly fat, and every night you over snacking. There's never need to panic. What's the worst thing that can happen if you're
Feeling like you weak and need to eat, but I ain't got a meal. Say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and you gotta heal. I ain't lying, no. Listen, I ain't trying, no. When I teach you all about this fasting, you dying slow. Feeling like you weak and need to eat, but I ain't got a meal. Say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and you gotta heal. I ain't lying, no. Listen, I ain't trying, no. When I teach you all about this fasting, you dying slow. So let's continue the conversation. I'm sure, like me, you're wondering what led to Linda's strange obsession. Well, she read The True Science of Living, A New Gospel of Health, written by Edward Hooker Dewey, MD, in 1895. Dr. Dewey felt that food, and more specifically excess food, led to just about all health issues. He believed that the buildup of gastric juices in the body wreaked absolute havoc and caused people to fall ill. Linda latched onto this belief system and felt that fasting would remove these impurities, allowing the body to heal. And since alternative medicines were becoming more popular at that time, her ideology was embraced. The problem is she took it to the absolute extreme. When Gertrude died after following Linda's fasting plan, Linda said she died from paralysis, when in fact she died from starvation, a detail that was highlighted by the coroner. And here's another layer to the story. Gertrude's family also said that Linda was a thief. They said that she stole many pieces of expensive jewelry from Linda after she passed. Linda's arrest would come after her treatment of the Williamsons was discovered. Dorothea and Claire Williamson, who were well off, traveled to visit Linda in search of advanced medical treatment. Claire ended up not eating for about 80 days and passed away. She was only 51 pounds. But before she did, she sent a note to her childhood nurse, Margaret Conway, pleading for help. Margaret came to visit the facility, and although Claire was gone, she did find Dorothea looking extremely unwell. Margaret would sneak her in food and plead for her release, and would eventually help orchestrate a $1,000 payment to Linda for her freedom. But all of this would eventually lead to a full investigation of what was really going on at this facility. On top of all the other atrocities, it was discovered that Linda had forced Claire to make her the executor of her estate. She stole $6,000 from her and was even seen parading around in her clothing after her death. But that's where I'm going to leave it for now. I hope you enjoyed today's story. And if you did, don't forget to do those things that make YouTube smile. You know what they are. And also don't forget to leave your thoughts on this case in the comment section below. I'm going to be hard at work on the next story, and I hope to see you there. But until then, be safe. Peace.